What's going on? It's the Rap Nerd, and we have a new track featuring Wale and Pusha T called Damage Control. And the album, it says, is Culture Jam. I'm not sure what this is, but it just came across my radar. Oh, the producer is Don Cannon. Ooh, I like that. But anyway, these two MCs are like two of my favorites, especially Pusha T, but being in my top 10, always has been. And coming off that excellent Clips album that I still have in rotation. So let's just hear what they have to say. I don't think I've heard a linking up with these two. I think they did one link up, but either way, let's go ahead and pop this thing off and see what they're talking about. Already loving this sample.
Look. Niggas know what I'm about, really, my freedom and not a billion. Niggas that hold money, just some kind of God deity, just wanna be God, really. But look, that God in me ain't shook. You guys atheists, maybe they blasphemy, of course. I'm passionate, I never been ass kissing. Of course I play backseat for the cause, now I'm Lewis Hamilton. No, I'm doing laps on them folks, ain't too attached to them folks. You want a problem? No problem, let's do some damage control. Hey, let it go, I'm back like I was never gone. We came up with them crack babies who now down from fentanyl. 1425, my math came from the go-go. My rap came from the culture, my rap came from the go-go. I'm blessed, I'm famous, Oluwa, I'm grateful. Just know if somebody snake me, I'm more lies. Tank top, yeah. Don't do a lot of that famous shit. I just fuck up the bands like Martin on Tommy Davis to jump. Yeah, I go to Vegas for lunch and skate around the city like it's Usher Raymond performance. Ain't no way to resolve it. I ain't taking no help. You niggas always been chancing me. I'm taking they bounce. Look, hold up. Everybody say they love you, but don't know you. Everybody with a dollar never dolo. Everybody outside now, ain't it? Summertime make the heart grow colder. Yep, frozen. Yep, shoulder.
Wale's be going when he wants to, man.
Frozen. Yep, colder.
Looking forward to that one too.
Shoulder. Sneeze.
I'm the truth and the proof, the dealer in the coupe, the off-catalog watch buyer from the stoop. That became legend, operation from my youth. All I hear is birds, that's just words in the booth. The realest Birdman, I just cock-a-doodle-doo. Doorstep, I get it right through. Money talk, the wrist is light blue. Sugar Hill, sweet shit is feeling type 2. Egos, man, you niggas might sue. New Jack Ninos, telling on the crew. Past and the future, nigga, what am I to glue? The realest nigga in it, tell me what am I to do? Wrist in a pot, this is something like a stew. Heard he got shot as he show up on the news. Podcast interviews, I am not amused. Kingpin push, I am not to be confused.
This nigga dead. You fire. Fire. Hold up, yo. Hold up. Beat is fire. Cannon is a great producer. And just hearing these two bounce back and forth is so dope because they have totally different styles, but they're equally as like layered and ill in their own right. I love that Wale, his verses, as usual, it just leans on the flow of things, and he's throwing around multi-syllable rhyming all over the place with little slick stuff sprinkled in throughout there, you know, punchlines here. And then you have Push, who verses not at all as multisyllabic, but the clarity in his voice is something that I think needs to be studied. Like, he is one of the most clear and concise MCs I have ever heard. You understand every word, you understand exactly what he's saying, and he just feels like he's like looking dead at you when he's rapping. I think people are using his performance on Tiny Desk where he's like looking at the camera rapping, not blinking, just saying it, and you can tell he means what he is saying. And that is one thing I've always loved about Push, is his conviction. And he means what he says. It's similar to how Kendrick is. Like, when Kendrick says something, you know he means exactly what he says. So this shit is full of bars. Let me go ahead and try and see if the bars are there so I can read them, or what I liked from each verse, because there's a lot of shit in here. Damage control. Let's go ahead and get into Wale's verse first. And so I love that play on God. You know, these niggas hold money just to be some kind of deity, just want to be God really, but look, that God in me ain't shook. You guys is atheists, maybe they blaspheme me, of course. And blasphemy has been used quite a bit. That's not anything crazy, but I just feel like the MCs always find a way to flip it, and I feel like that's a nice flip. And then the next bar is, I'm passionate, never been ass kissing, of course. I played backseat for the court, now I'm Lewis Hamilton, though. That's an ill line. Ooh. So Lewis Hamilton is a British race car driver who has made headlines for being the best, one of the best in winning, actually. So I like that he's saying play backseat for the course. You know, he's been trying to get there for so long, but he's here now when he's winning. So I like that line. And then he continues that line with, "I'm doing laps on these folks. Ain't too attached to them folks. You want a problem? No problem. Let's do some damage control." Like, I just like the play on syllables that he's using here, and you know, referencing the song, of course. Then the next bar, "Let it go. I'm back like I was never gone. We came out with them crack babies. Let it down on fentanyl." Again, it's the flow, the rhyme schemes here, and then just saying crack babies as talking about like the 80s people. You know, Wale's born in the 80s, and then now how things have, you know, kind of changed their trajectory, talking about these new kids. I love his next bar when he says, 1425, my math came from the go-go, my rap came from the culture, my rap came from the goat though. Play on syllables, but just saying he's goated. You know, the symbolics of what that is fire. In his next bar, he says something about snaking me. He talking some rich nigga shit here. I don't know what brand that he's talking about, but it's definitely something. I know that it's a flip on the fashion brand, and it's really hard for me to make out what he's saying just because of his accent, and I appreciate that, honestly. You know, I think that Wale gets a bad rap because his accent and jargon is so DMV that if you're not listening, it's kind of hard to make out what he's saying. But I love that shit because it shows that he's a product of where he's from, which is something that is missing highly from hip hop these days. The next bar I love on here when he goes, "Yeah, don't do a lot of that famous shit. I just fuck up the bands like Martin, no Tommy Davidson." As somebody who watches Martin to this day still, there's an episode when Martin flies out to Los Angeles, I believe, to link up with Tommy Davidson's character. He flies out to get his moment on Darnell. This is his name, the Darnell Show. And in the midst of Jodeci performing on that show, Martin pretty much rushes the stage and is singing terribly, messing up the performance. So that's an ill bar. I love that. And then the next bar, whew, I go to Vegas for lunch and I skate around the city like Usher Raymond's performance. Oh! And then from that point, he goes into the hook. So we're gonna get into Pusha T's verse. In the opening bars here, "I'm the truth in the booth, the dealer in the coupe, the off catalog, watch buyer from the stoop." See, that to me is what Pusha's so great at, because it's like you can just hear that and be like, "Oh, he's just saying something," but it's just a coded way of saying like the money is so up that I'm doing things in the shadows that you don't even realize that I'm doing. You know, the off catalog watch buyer from the stoop. He's sitting over there ordering something that us regular folk don't even understand what it is, but that's just a real dope way of saying that. It's fire. In the next line, "That became the legend, operation from my youth. All I hear is a bird, that's just words in the booth." And that's like a double, honestly, because you can say all I hear is birds, which you could be Twitter talk, birds as in bird ass niggas, you know, people throwing shots like at him from wherever they are. So you a bird throwing shots. Then he's talking about birds with him and playing off of the identity of him being coke rap, saying that's just words in the booth. So that's and then it goes to the next bar, say the realest Birdman, which is a shot in itself, but just where he stands with this whole thing. "I just cockle doodle doo, doorstep, I get it right through." It also could be a play on the fact that he actually ran into Birdman in the elevator and nothing happened. He got through the situation, so it could be that too. The next lines, money talk, the wrist is light blue, Sugar Hill, sweet shit is feeling tight too. So I think that this might be a double as well. You know, wrist is light blue. I don't know if you know, but like those sugar packets that are you find in restaurants are light blue as well. So I don't know if he's playing with that, but then it goes into the Sugar Hill Suite. So that's why I'm connecting the dots there. But then he goes, shit is feeling type 2 as in diabetic. Oh. Then the next lines, bruise egos, man, you niggas might sue. New Jack Ninos, telling on the crew. Shots at Drake, of course. But the fact that he says New Jack Ninos, right? Wesley Snipes is in that movie as well as Sugar Hill in 1994. And then again, the next line is just a fly way to say, normal stuff, past and the future, nigga. What am I, the glue? And that is the metaphor, oh my God, connecting Birdman and Drake, past being Birdman, Drake being the future. In regardless of the era, I'm the realest in the room. Like, I'm the glue of this whole shit because it's the same situation on either side. Wrist in the pot, this is something like a stew. In another metaphor, heard he got shot as he showed up on the news, He's shooting the anchor on the news. Just a quick little flip. I like that though. Podcast interviews. I am not amused. Kingpin pushed. I am not to be confused. So I ain't with all that bullshit that y'all talking over there. And then the Kingpin push, I am not to be confused, could be a double as well, talking about not only his writer's pen, but also, being an actual kingpin in what he was saying, and that I'm not the same as y'all. So on either front, I'm not fronting like y'all, and I'm not the same type of rapper as y'all. So that's what that could mean. So just fire record that I'm going to add to my library and will be bumping alongside God Sort Him Out. Pusha T is having a hell of a year, as well as Malice, of course, but just Pusha has been out for these past few decades, just running the game and continuing to deliver on a level that nobody else can deliver on. So this is a fire record. Let me know in the comments, what is your favorite line from this song? I think with Wale's verse, my favorite bar is it's a tie between don't do a lot of the famous shit that'll mess up the bands like Martin or Tommy Davidson. I think that was ill. Also, like, I go to Vegas for luncheon and skating around the city like a Usher Raymond performance. That's hard. Love that. And for me, my favorite Push line is it's a tie between Money Talk, the wrist is light blue. Sugar Hill Sweet shit is fitting type 2. I mean, that's the bar that I like. I'm the truth in the booth, the dealer in the coupe, the off catalog watch buyer from the stoop. So let me know what y'all's favorite is, and of course, if you listen to content, make sure to like, subscribe, and if you already are subscribed, thank you. And until next time, peace.
RapNerd Productions, no capping, that's word to mommy. Instead of banking on it, now rapping is just a hobby.